Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Damn Parenting, your English-speaking parenting podcast from Amsterdam. And as always, we're your hosts, Maren and
Eva.
And on this episode, we will be covering the topic of apps for pregnancy. We will cover the most named ones that we got, or the ones that we kept seeing popping up in WhatsApp groups, chats, and Facebook groups, and apps that a lot of people seem to be using. I have to be very honest with you from the beginning. I didn't use any of these apps. So I'm very curious to hear from Eva and her experiences. I know she did use some of these. And yeah, the only app that I actually used was an app that came with my fertility tracker that when I changed it to pregnancy mode had a development setting from like you know it from other apps. So that was enough for me at that point. And as I already mentioned in the literature episode, I wasn't super focused on tracking my pregnancy as I didn't have so many problems or anything to be concerned about. And I wasn't super curious to see if my baby was what was it? What's all the animal sizes you can like now it's a bird, now it's a puppy, now it's a melon.
Well, a melon's not
So yeah,
an animal.
yeah. Well, I just remember I think I downloaded one, and that was the one. I think it was the from Philips even, because I got the baby phone from them. So I thought, all right, do they have any apps? And that's the one that I had scrolled through, and I saw you could put food, animals, and some other category. I don't even remember. Eva's nodding, so yes, she knows that one. I think we all know that one, or some version of it. Yeah, so from my side, there will be lots of maybe like the listeners out there, lots of nodding and and that's interesting. And Eva is going to be the expert on this episode as she can dive a little deeper into the content of some of these apps. But nevertheless, we still wanted to cover this topic because we know that there is people who use these apps quite frequently and are very happy with them. Thought let's just do a little overview of what's out there and what we kept seeing popping up and what Eva also used. Roll the ball straight over to you, Eva, and let me know what was your go-to app that you used.
Well, honestly, that intro is quite a pressure cooker on me now. Okay. Well, in fairness,
No worries. No,
know.
no pressure.
No pressure. It's all good. Okay. So basically, I had the What to Expect When You're Expecting book, and I found out they had an app. So I was like, okay, let me go to the app. Just like the book. The app is super simple, and it shows you. So you were doing animals. I literally was pregnant, and all I wanted to do was check my baby compared to food. So it was all about fruit in our house.
Understandably.
So that's all I did. But yeah, the apps. There are so many apps out there, and honestly, it's just a visual thing where it's going to depend on your preference. So like just like people have Apple phones, just like people have like Android phones, it's just a real preference of what people like to see better and how it moves, like if it's user friendly. So the What to Expect for me was just super simple, super simplified. It's kind of based on the book, you know, with you just, you know, you put in your due date and then it tells you every day. You can log in to see what animal, now you've got me saying animal.
What food?
What fruit it is, yeah. And the fruit changes, you know, month by month. And then it tells you about potential symptoms, things to watch out for, maybe how to take care of yourself. So, I mean, it's quite generic. And to be honest, that's what most apps are going to be about. Another one was the Pregnancy Plus. Again, it looked super easy. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, all these apps are going to basically be the same. And it's a case of some of them are going to give the animals, some of them give the fruit. But it is just a case of during this month, this is what's going to happen. Or, you know, the child's developing at different rates, or the kicking happens, or, you know, if you eat this, you might get a kick. The apps really are just a way to give mom a way to maybe get off social media, maybe get off something else and just open up a different app. I kind of found it as a way to kind of grasp a moment that, yes, I'm on my phone, but also I'm kind of going, how's baby doing? Got WhatsApp direct to my womb.
That would be nice, right? If they could give you a little heads up. FYI, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah, please stop eating the Mexican. Yeah.
Although now we know Mexican is very nutritious.
It's very
But maybe
nutritious.
my daughter would have probably texted me, can you please stop this Domino cheese crust thing? It's like not really floating with me.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, literally that's how I saw the apps. The apps for me were just a case of you sit down and you kind of check in. What what fruit is the baby, what's happening this month, what to expect, maybe a few movements, maybe, when we discussed about exercise previously or nutrition on the other episodes, this is kind of how it goes. There's no big revelation out there, honestly, down to which one you want to use, how it looks. And on the other side, it's also about data protection as well with some of them. So, I mean, it's just a case of, it's always wise to kind of go through. And when you go into the app, when you're about to get an app or download an app, most of these will be free. It's a case of just scroll through the pictures that you see of what it looks like and kind of be like, is this kind of for me or not? I think I downloaded probably 10, 15 apps when I was pregnant, and I just deleted them because I was like, it's not really for me. I don't really like it. But that's, at the end of the day, that's how we all work at this. We're kind of like, is this for me or not?
So which one was the one that you kept then in the end from these 15?
It was the what to expect. It was just
what to expect.
Basic, super simple. Some other ones, like, we'll name drop here. Like, as I said, I had the Pregnancy Plus, the Bump, the Ovia Pregnancy Tracker, Glow, which was quite popular actually with our group, I think. I think it's called Glow Nurture Pregnancy now. It changed over the years. And then there's the Pregnancy app by Amelia. These are just some of the popular ones out there. And again, it's just going to be a case of, if you're a WhatsApp group or if you're, your pregnancy crew that you're hanging out with, they might favor one over the other. And that's basically, I think, going to be your major influence.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, it was really this, especially in the beginning, that's when I was really on it, when it was just so abstract. Like, you don't feel anything, you can't, but obviously the baby's there and you've probably seen it at the midwife and you've seen ultrasounds and all this, but then you go back and you're waking up in the morning and you're like, that was always my checkup. I put the bracelet that I was wearing on the charger, and then I synchronized all my data within the app, and then I was just sitting there for like 5 minutes and checking, like, oh, what's this? Yeah, like you said, this week, what's the development this week? And then I was scrolling like further, and then I thought, point I will be this week, and then this will be happening. And it was just so fascinating and abstract, and at the same time I thought, this is so far away. And then when I got to the point when I remembered, when I was then the weeks before remembering this point when I thought, oh my God, this is so far away. And then all of a sudden it was that week. And then I thought, I'm almost done. Like, she's almost here. So that was putting this whole abstract concept into something visual and something really, this is going on right now. And then I thought, how crazy is this that now her hearing sense and now she's opening her eyes, and it was just so, it's happening within me, but I don't obviously notice when she's going to open her eyes and all this. So it was really, just putting this whole, like I said, this whole abstract concept into something visual and something, this is happening right now. And that's why I kept using this app and why I thought this was so fascinating.
Yeah, I think for me, it was a case of whatever fruit it was, I'd buy that fruit and I'd be like holding it, kind of how I went, I think, at that stage, because it was, we were getting lots of watermelon when she was in the watermelon phase. So I was eating it, I just was like, you're the size of a watermelon and I'm going to eat loads of this. But yeah, I think that's, as you say, it's like having that visual context of like, oh, this is the size of my baby. Oh, this is what development they're going through. Oh, this is where they are. It's just a nice way of not having to go to a doctor and ask them, or, not having to go to verloskundige, not having to do your scans, all this kind of stuff. It's just something small you can be doing at home for yourself. And as I said, it's like a moment where I can be on my phone, but I don't go into the other social apps. I go into this one and I sat and I checked in and I was like, oh, wow. And it was just not a revelation, or it was just something that was just kind of like, this is a moment. And especially when they changed to the fruit or to the next stage and kind of things, I think were quite magic. But one thing I forgot was, on some of these groups, they actually have a community. So when you join up and you register your due date or whatever, you can actually go into these, and it's kind of like, like a Reddit, or not really Facebook, but you can kind of go into these communities and ask questions or read other moms talking about the pregnancy. So I know What to Expect definitely had it, and I think that the Bump had it as well. I can't remember the other ones, but that is also something if you were interested. So I was pregnant in COVID. So for example, there wasn't much going on in life anyway. So got a lot of space. So let me enter into this world. Honestly, I was just reading about other women and what they were going through. And it was, you're kind of like, oh, I share it, or that doesn't resonate with me. But if you've got plenty of time, those communities can fill up all those hours. That's for sure.
That's for sure. Yes. And I thought when you said this moment, now that I'm thinking back, and now I realize I was really connected with this app actually. I also took this moment of internally connecting with my baby. By the way, this app is from the Ava fertility bracelet. If someone is asking themselves what this bracelet is, that's the fertility tracker I used before getting pregnant to track my cycle. I used it when I was pregnant, and I'm still using it because I think it's super interesting just to keep track of your cycle. There's other cycle apps that you don't have a tracker with, but I really like this one, so I just kept using it. So that was the one that I used. So coming back to the moment, it was that I was seeing this baby on the screen, and I thought, wow, like we're doing this now. And I really internally connected with my real baby in my belly. And yeah, that when you said this about the moment, I remember that I did that. And coming back to the whole thing of mindfulness and connecting, and this actually these apps are so technical in some sense, but then at the same time, they also can be very holistic and then really be mindful and not just a tech thing that you use on your phone, but really a moment of mindfulness and checking in and reflection. So sometimes it does go deeper than just using the app, I just realized.
Yeah. I mean, for me, that was what it was about. Was I'm totally into research and data and anything like that. And so for me, that's what it was about. But at the same time, I realized after months, I was having a moment. And those were not my special moments, but it was just that thing that I was like, I got to sit and just be and just, hey, this is how you are. And, and the turning of the fruit to me was always a magical moment of, I do recommend it for people who are interested in that kind of thing. As I said, all these apps are going to be very different. It depends on your user preference or, visual, how you operate anyway. So, I mean, just browse through them and see which ones you like. But yeah, it is fun. And we will be talking apps after, maybe even the birthing period. And then definitely we'll be talking about apps for after you've given birth, because there are a couple of very popular ones that I think will be quite interesting for many listeners out there.
You can appify any stage of your pregnancy, of your postpartum journey, and even when you're totally out of everything, you can still use some parenting apps. So the apps are always there.
And they don't even have to be parenting apps. It could be the clock of how long have I been sitting here on the toilet? So, I mean,
how many minutes to myself have I gotten today sitting on the toilet?
Yeah, exactly. And that could be when pregnant and with a toddler. So there's apps for everything out there, but it is going to be a case of figure out which one's for you and really enjoy those moments when you actually do sit down and check in. And it can be a little exciting, I find. And I think it was quite nice as well for my partner to also see it and be like, oh, okay, because I don't know if all partners are going to be downloading it themselves and keeping track on
that's actually a good point. Yeah, my husband did not, but now that I think about it, it'd be very helpful if you establish this habit. And I think, this is tapping into a whole different topic, but still the topic of parenting, and how I know that this question pops up in a lot of courses, of birthing courses, when how can we involve the partner? How can be the partner more involved? And it pops up, of course, during birth more than ever. But now that you say this, it would be actually a good thing if the partner also downloads some kind of app to just keep track of it. And because, you're growing also their child, and this is a good way to start connecting with the whole pregnancy and not just say, oh, pregnancy, I don't have anything to do with this other than hear the complaining, what's going on now, but actually really this could be an opportunity to be involved from the very beginning and check in and see, oh, this is what's happening. And then maybe even check in with your partner then. Oh, I saw in the app, this is the week of that. Did you feel any different? Is there anything I can support you with? Or I don't know, if they're into cooking even. My husband sadly isn't. He's into ordering. But how can I maybe support the development? Is there any special foods that we can prepare this week or the upcoming weeks? This is really a way to involve the partner in the very beginning and train them to be involved for what's gonna come.
Yeah, I think I actually put mine on the iPad as well, because I was kind of like, well, you get to see a bigger picture as well.
Yeah, how handy.
I know.
Magnifying glass.
Trust me, the older I get, the more I need. No, I think it's a good check-in as well, because I think I was turning around kind of like, oh, look, it's a watermelon or whatever, or melon or whatever it was. But yeah, that's true. That could be something. I think that could be a good marker for anyone listening as well, to kind of say, hey, if you've got a communal iPad in the house, download it there, so that you can.
Yeah, exactly. And even, and this is, I mean, this is amazing if you already have younger children and you want to explain the whole concept of we're having a sibling. And then this is something cool if, yeah, like you said, if you have a family iPad or a communal iPad, this is a great way actually for younger siblings also to visualize it and get them excited about it and get it. Like I said, the whole concept of it being abstract for myself, I can only imagine how abstract it must be for a younger child and probably being a toddler or young to involve them also in this whole concept of the pregnancy. The more I talk about these apps, the more I'm fascinated with them. They really, you think they're this easy little thing, but then when you really talk about them and you think about their function, you can really see in how many ways they can help us in this whole process of getting familiar with this big change and involving everyone.
It's I mean, I think they're very useful, and especially for people who don't have the capacity or even time to read. They can just
exactly.
grab an app as well and just follow the process there.
And especially when you're coming to your partners with, I know that my husband, if I would have given him a book and be like, this is what you have to read, he was like, oh, I don't have any time to read, I don't have the capacity. But what is he going to say if I tell him, here, you download an app and every morning when you take your bathroom break, this is what you check into? So there is really no excuse for not using this app. So this is also how you can get them on the hook with, oh, I don't have any time to read.
Well, I don't want to be getting the blame for any partnership problems here when we're saying you download.
You can, exactly. All the problems you might encounter, you can always blame it on us. I've heard this on the Damn Parenting. These ladies have said this, so we can take all the blame. That's fine. We have a resident psychologist with us, so we'll
be using her ourselves.
Exactly. So don't worry about us. We can take all the blame. That's fine.
But honestly, I think apps it's pretty short and sweet when it comes to it, you know?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's just going to be down for whoever's out there. If you're into it, if you read books, if you don't, if you just want to check them out, if you want to check the sizes, it's nice to have it as a reminder on your phone.
That was it.
Short episode. I mean, this is what an app is about, isn't it? TLDR.
Exactly. Well, then, till next time. And we hope you tune in on the next episode. And that's it from us. Bye.
Bye.